everyone, this is Tricia and welcome to my channel and my farmhouse wedding series. In my series I will be showing you how to put together some arrangements, whether they be a centerpiece, a bouquet to hold in your hand, or a decorative garland. Now I am merely going to be showing you the basics of how to put together these floral items, and it will be up to you to choose as I'm doing, or pick your own style, theme and color for your wedding, or whether it be a quince, which is a 15th birthday, a sweet 16, or any other special occasion that you wish to use any of these ideas for. I hope that you will enjoy this, so let's get started. And here I have project number 2, which is a floral arrangement on a candlestick. So let me tell you what the supplies are going to be for this project. Alright, so before I show you all the supplies, I will let you know that I am going to be needing some styrofoam to begin with, and this is the styrofoam that I'll be using for my project today. So let me tell you what I mean by styrofoam. This here is a styrofoam. If you go into a floral supply store or a craft store, you can ask for styrofoam, and this is what they'll show you. Okay? You can use this other type of styrofoam, which is also called a floral foam. This is a little bit softer. And then we have this other type of floral foam, which is also known as an oasis. The styrofoam is used for many things. It is used for crafting. It is also used for florals, and it's mainly used for silk or faux flowers, whatever you want to call them. I use them for my silks, and I have always said styrofoam because that is what it is. I also use this other type of styrofoam, which is also called a floral foam. This is a little bit softer. I would use this for my silk stems as well. I could use it for some crafting, but this could also be used for dry flowers. Why? Because it is a lot softer to puncture. This one is quite hard. You probably can't push the little stems of dry flowers in here. They'll just be breaking, so it's best to get this softer foam. And I don't like to use this a lot because it is very crumbly and it gets everywhere, and if you have lots of allergies, you'll get this everywhere. And let me show you my finger so that you can see how coated that is. So I don't use that one. I like to use a styrofoam, which is nice and hard, and I don't get it everywhere. Okay, this here floral foam or oasis, this is what you use with fresh flowers. This, you'll soak it in water so it absorbs water, so that when you put in your fresh flower stems, it keeps your floral arrangement fresher just a little bit longer. Now you can use this dry and use it for your dry flowers as we use this. I would not spend extra to get this to use it as I would this one, which is again used for some silk or faux flowers or even crafts items. Okay, so that is the difference between these styrofoams or floral foams, and the usual word in anywhere is to say styrofoam, and I could mean any of these products. If you want to be specific and you want to say floral foam, you'll probably be taken to something like this, and maybe even this. Okay, there we go. Alright, so as you saw, I'm doing a candlestick arrangement. So this is the candlestick that I have chosen. I know it doesn't look very farmhouse, but I thought I'd use something a little more elegant to maybe appease to some of you that like things a little more blingy, a little more elegant. So this is the candle holder that I got. It's got some little specks on it to make it look like an aged kind of glass. It is a breakable item. I got this at Burlington and I paid $10 for it. You can go shopping anywhere pretty much and find some candlesticks that are at a great price. I chose this one because it is nice and tall, and I'll explain why. I also have some greenery, and I've got some greenery that I've got left over. I've got some little fern leaves, some little grasses. These fern leaves, I got them from a bush at Hobby Lobby. You can get your greenery from wherever you want. Just like these, I also got, these I got them from the Dollar Tree actually, these little grasses. And then I also have some ivy. I used some of this last week, or actually on Tuesday, for my first project for my wedding, my farmhouse wedding, and I still got some left, so I'm going to use some of that in this. I also have this beautiful bush here with some different flowers on it, so I want to use that. But I grabbed another little bush that I had of some roses. These are from the Dollar Tree. These are from Hobby Lobby, but you, like I said, you can get your florals wherever you want. But I grabbed this extra just in case I might want some extra flowers in there. And I also grabbed this one, which has some lavender colored little stems with some little flowers. They're so pretty. And again, this is also from Hobby Lobby. Okay. And I showed you that I was going to use some styrofoam. I may need some green moss, or this is also called sheet moss, or you can use Spanish moss, or any color of moss you want to use. So I'm also going to be using these greenery pins, or U pins as they're also called, to hold that in if I do happen to use that. And I might also use those U pins to attach my ribbons. Okay, so I showed you the greenery. Oh yes, I have ribbons right here, so that's the next thing. So I just got 3 ribbons that I liked. So I'm kind of combined them to do some ribbon hanging off from our candlestick. Okay, so I'm going to be using my hot glue gun, and I've got hot glue sticks. I think you know what that looks like. Wire cutters, scissors, and of course I have my little craft knife. That's what I use to cut styrofoam or floral foam. There we go. So if I need anything else, I'll probably be pulling it out. I do have an idea of something else that I might use. I had these type of fern that I used for a project, and what I was doing is I was cutting some of these to give it a longer stem because I needed to stick it into an arrangement, and I needed it to be tall. So the little leaves that I cut off, I was actually collecting them, and I thought I'd use them for something. So I might use them once I have my styrofoam on my candlestick. I might use them to cover underneath if I don't use the moss. So that's an alternative. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, the reason that I chose this particular candlestick, and I chose a nice tall one, and last week when I showed you the little table centerpiece that I did, it was nice and short, and that is, you want something that when everyone is sitting around a table, you want to be able for them to look over the arrangement so they can look at each other, you know, whether it's a wedding or any other party or just a little get-together that you have with your lady or men friends, whatever you have that you want to get together with, maybe it's some church function, and you want to have centerpieces. You want to be able to talk and be able to look at each other and not have some floral arrangement, you know, keeping you from doing that. So in that thought, if you're going to have something tall, of course, when you're sitting down, something tall, you'll be able to see through it, and you'll only have really just a candlestick, but you'll still be able to see someone without having something big right here. Now I am going to hang some ribbons, but we're going to try to keep it minimal and try to keep whatever we hang from here minimal so that we can at least have some view between us and the person across the table from us. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to start adhering the styrofoam to the top of my candlestick. This is a nice size of styrofoam. I could trim it down to the exact size from the top of this, and I could even add a candle here if I wanted to, but today I decided that I'm just going to do florals on it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and attach this to my candlestick. So let's get to crafting. Okay, so I'm going to be putting the hot glue on the edge here because it kind of goes down a little bit, and the styrofoam's not going to touch this. It's just going to be touching right here. So I'm going to put plenty of glue there. And of course, before you get started, you do want to wipe things down and make sure there's no oils, like from your hands or, you know, it being in the store, people touching it. Also, any dust. And remove your tags, which I haven't even done. There we go. Now, the other thing you also want to choose, if you're choosing candlesticks to do something like this, you want to choose one that's nice and heavy. Mine is not very heavy. It could easily topple over, actually. I'm just going to turn this around so that I can see that I'm kind of centering it. There we go, just like that. Okay, so our styrofoam is already on there. Now I'm going to go ahead and get those little leaves that I told you about that I have from the fern, and I'm going to use them under here. Okay, so I went ahead and I grabbed the leaves. Forgive that I do have a fan going. I pretty much have it going every time that I do these videos. It is a cooler day. It has been cooler nights. But I'm using these lights up ahead on top of me and extra lights in this room. So it gets really warm when I'm doing all this video videoing. So I have to have that little fan on. I'm hoping someday maybe I can find one that's not as noisy. All right, so let's turn this around. And I can already see that I didn't really center it very well. But I'm going to go ahead and just take these little leaves, and because they don't really have much of a stem that I can poke into the styrofoam, I'm going to cut at the bottom and just trim off some of the leaves so that then I can have a little stem on them. Let me put the camera a little bit closer so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so let me go ahead and do another one, and I'm just going along the side here of the, if I feel it, I can feel that it has this little plastic stem on it here. So I'm just cutting off the leaves on the little edges to give me a little bit of a stem, which is what I did to this other one as well. And then I can use these to insert into, and I think I need to trim off a little bit more. There we go. I'll put a little glue on them, and I'm going to make sure that the pretty side of my leaf is actually facing outward, and then we can press it into the styrofoam, and then we can just keep doing that all the way around, pressing. I'm just going to put that in without the glue. Actually, it would probably be better if you actually press them in without putting the glue first, because adding the glue kind of softens the plastic and it's a little bit harder to push it in. So I'm going to continue doing that and just go all the way around at the bottom. If you don't want to do this, you can just take some of your sheet moss, some pieces of that, and your greenery pins, or U pins as they're also known, and then just take this, press it in an angle, okay, so that it doesn't stick out here at the bottom. You don't scratch your table while you're doing that. And then just go ahead and cover at the bottom here all the way around. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add these little leaves. I'm going to do a little combination of the moss as well. So I'll be back once I've got all the leaves on there. Okay, so I'm back, and I have put all the leaves that I wanted to in the bottom, and then I actually went in there and I covered any styrofoam that I could see with the green moss. So now what I'm doing is I'm putting some on the edge here. Now if you have plenty of little leaves and things like that you can cover all of that up, then you don't have to do this step. But I'm going to go ahead and get some more of this green moss, and I'm going to cover now the edges. Now I said that you can use these greenery pins, but if you don't want to go through the extra expense, they're not very expensive, but if you don't want to do that, you can just use your hot glue gun and take your pieces. What I'm doing is I'm just kind of trimming them off a little bit, kind of the width of the, the edge of the styrofoam. So instead of using the pin to push it in, I'm just going to put a few little drops of glue in the back and just adhere it to the styrofoam. I don't put too much glue because I want to be able to maybe insert some stems into there, and I don't want the glue to be in the way, otherwise I won't be able to push it in. Alright, so I'm just going to keep adding. So I'm just trimming off pieces. And that's probably why it would be best to use the greenery pins, because you can work your stem around the greenery pin a lot easier than if you tried hot gluing it. Oops, let's get this to go in a little straighter. And sometimes when you have a little bit that's sticking up like that, you just get your next piece, overlap it just a tad, and then just push your pin. There we go. So that's what I'm doing. Alright, so I'm going to continue covering. It's just a little bit more that I have to do. Alright, so I'm just going to take some of this ribbon, and I'm going to combine this pink and this little white lacy one. You can't really tell that it's pink. It's very light. On the roll it looks pink, but once I open it up it doesn't. So I'm just giving it a very, very light touch, which is fine because my flowers have a creamy pink color to them. I also have this thin creamy ribbon that I'm going to use, and I'm going to incorporate in there. But in the meantime, I'm going to use these. Now on these, I don't want these ribbons hanging like that because then that would be too much, coverage down here. So I'm going to keep these short. Come up here, pinch, make my loop. I do have videos on how to make handmade bows. So if you look at my channel, just click on my picture, the little icon where it says Tricia Texas Lady. Click on that. That'll take you to my channel, and then you can look at either where it says playlist, or if you want to just scroll down through go to videos and then scroll down all the videos, you can do that. But if you go to playlist, you'll find one that says handmade bows, and you can watch any of the videos that I put in there. I'm not sure how many I have. I may have 3 or 4 of them in there. Okay, so I'm just going to make maybe, I think 3 loops. So I'm going to make 2 of these little bows and put one on each side. And I've got a chenille stand. You can use floral wire. I just need a little short piece. I don't need it to be too long. Okay, so I'm going to twist it together a couple of times in the back. And then I'm going to take one of these greenery pins and then put it in there. Just hook it onto the chenille stem right here, and then twist the chenille or your pipe cleaner. So then we have this greenery pin coming out from it. You can see that, the greenery pin coming out from it, and then that can get inserted into our styrofoam, floral foam, depending on what you're using. Okay. I don't know about other countries, but I do know that here in the U.S., if you say styrofoam for florals or whatever, they'll understand what you're saying if you go into a floral design store. I've mentioned before, I worked for Michaels. I did floral design. I ordered it constantly every week for my department, and it was in the floral department, and it was styrofoam. It's what I always ordered. Okay, and of course Michaels is known nationally and in Canada. I don't know if they've spread out even more now, but anyway, so I've got my ribbons, and as you saw, I put one on top of the other as I did my loops, but then when I put it on here, I can spread them out, and it actually makes for a bigger bow. Now, I could just have one bow. I mean, I said I wanted to have one on the other side, but I'm kind of looking at it right now, and I think I might just do one side. Let's do another little bow that's going to go on top here, and then it'll have some little strings hanging off. And I believe I do have a thin pink ribbon that I also purchased that was similar to this one. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that out and add to this one. All right, everyone, I pulled out some more ribbon. I pulled out this one. This is a 3/8 inch ribbon. It's a little sheer pink. But I also happened to find this other one that I think I got this one at the Dollar Tree. This looks like the label from the Dollar Tree. So I'm just going to be combining different ribbons from different places. It doesn't really matter. This one has sort of like a little bit of a sage, kind of a green color to it, and it's really pretty, really soft, and I think it'll go well with my arrangement. So don't be afraid to mix ribbons, especially when you're doing something that's farmhouse, because the idea is that you've collected all these ribbons, and they all look pretty. Even some little laces would be pretty dangling off of here. So I'm just going to take some like this, and then a bit more, and I'm going to be cutting them at little angles like that. Rather than cutting them straight edges, I'm doing a little bit of an angle. I could do a little dovetail on all of them if I want to take the time, but they're really small. That's not really necessary. Okay, so I'm going to have this one hanging down like that. Another chenille stem to grab them. And then I'm actually going to grab another of these greenery pins, slide it on there, between there, and then wrap the 2 chenille stems. And then once you got the little ends, just kind of roll them flat. And then you have them on this greenery pin. And that we're going to go ahead and insert right underneath that one. But I'm going to add a couple of little drops of glue to my pin because I don't think I did that to the bow. But that's okay. I'll look underneath here, the bow, and just tuck it right under there. And you won't see my chenille stem. I prefer using floral wire when I'm doing something that's, you know, going to be professional, because you don't see it. Okay. But this is for me. There we go. So then I've got some little ribbons hanging down. I could have some little laces hanging down as well. So this all just depends, but you just don't want to put too much. That's why I'm deciding that I'm just going to do it on one side. I feel like it's too much if I do both sides. Okay, let's put these ribbons off to the side. And now we're going to go ahead and build our arrangement. So I'm going to take this floral bush first. And because I don't know how long the stems are going to be needed, I'm just going to cut them at their longest point. All I do is just kind of push the leaves. I want to remove the price tag here, the label, of course. And this is repetitive, but not all of you have seen all of my videos. Maybe this is the only video that you see, so I'm just going to repeat it. I'm going to push all the leaves upward, and then you're going to cut them all at their longest point, the bottom, and just cut them off of the bush. And that is why you want some good wire cutters, you guys. And just cut them all off. Maybe we don't use them all. Sometimes you can grab 2 of them at a time if you have some really good wire cutters and cut them both at the same time, like these 2. Okay, well there we go. We don't need this little part anymore, so we can toss it away. So I'm going to look, these are the biggest flowers, so I'm going to make this my center point flower, and I'm going to decide how tall do I want this. I don't think I want it that tall. I think maybe about this height. So I'm going to hold it up against here. And I decided that this is how high I want it, but my styrofoam is not very deep. So I have to cut the stem. I have to cut all this part off because obviously we don't want it going through because it's going to hit the candle part here, or it might just come out on the side here. So we need to trim it where we have maybe 1/2 inch because our styrofoam is only about 1 inch thick. So we're going to leave just about 1/2 inch there. And this is where we do want to use some glue because we don't want this to pop off. So we're going to go right in the middle, and that's establishing our height. There we go. And this is where you can move your greenery up and down if you wish. But there we go. That's our beautiful flower right in the middle, and that can just be facing upward. Okay, so I've got 2 more of it, of the same, or actually I have 3. Okay, so let's find, and this is why I also like to put the bow, or I didn't explain that. I like to put the bow first, so I make sure that I don't put a flower here that's just going to get, you know, covered up by the bow. So put your bow on there so now you know that you can work around the bow. Okay, I'm going to cut this one. I want this one to come out of my arrangement, and I want it to come out pretty much the same amount that my bow does. Okay, so the bow's popping out on the opposite side about so much, and then I know that I only have a little bit that I need to insert into there, so I'm going to cut this nice and short. And I can push the green up a little bit. Just want a short little stem on that. Again, put some glue on it so it doesn't pop out of your arrangement. You don't want them, and I'm putting it kind of a little bit of an angle, so I can push that in, and I know that I can't push it anymore. That's it. Okay, and I have 2 more of that, and I'm going to go ahead and now work on opposite sides this way. So 1 flower here, 1 flower here, and again I'm going to keep that same length on the sides. You could do one side longer if you want. You could have this, you know, the same, but then when you turn it around this way, you have even longer bits. So let's do that look, okay? So this time I'm going to cut it a little bit longer, and I'm going to bend it a little bit so that I can kind of get a feel. I'm going to bend it down, but then I'm going to bend my flower up because I don't want my flower facing downward, but I kind of want it to look like it's just flowing off of my candlestick. Okay, so I've decided that this is how much I want it to come out, so I got to give it anywhere from 1/2 inch to 1 inch of stem to insert into the styrofoam. And just push it in, and there we go. See how that looks? And then you can create an even wider arrangement. Now just keep in mind that the wider you make it or the taller you make it, the more flowers you're going to need to fill in. I'm going to use the same little stick that I cut off of the other one to guide me to cut this one, so it'll be at about the same length. I'm going to do the same thing, fold it and then fold it up. Just curve it a little bit and then curve up your flower. And just do on the other side. This is what it looks like from above. This flower is being taken place by the bow, and here we have these 2. They're the same, and they're a little bit wider out than these 2 are. Okay, so whatever you do to one side, do the same to the opposite, and that is how you can create a centerpiece. So let's keep adding flowers, and this one has these beautiful hydrangeas, and I think I'm going to do like a trio around here. Again, I'm going to hold it up because I want to see how tall I can have this. And I want it to be between the height of this and this. So you want to keep it somewhere in the middle. You don't want it like that or way down in. You want it somewhere in the middle. So I've chosen my length, and I'm going to give it just a ½ an inch more to insert into the styrofoam. And I'm just going to curve it just a tiny bit. You want to curve your flowers, your stems, just a tiny bit to give them a natural flow. If you see a flower, it's really heavy, it's not going to be too straight up. It might just fall a little bit on the stem. Just want to give that look to your arrangement. Okay, the next one. Once you do a lot of arrangements, you kind of get the feel of how long to cut your stems. Once you cut one, then you know what to do for the other side. So you get that feel. I'm going to move this a little bit more that way because I'm doing a trio around this flower. So here's the center, one flower here, one there, and then I'm going to have another one right here. And this is the one that I had cut before, and this one that I just cut. Look, it's not the same, so you don't always get the feel. So let's do a little bit more. There we go. That'll be perfect. This will go over here. Look at that. All right. Oh, well, maybe I was using the wrong stick. Okay, it doesn't matter. Okay, so there we go. That's in like that. And as you can see, our arrangement is getting filled up some. Now, if you're not sure of the, like I said, I had another, I pulled out another bush with some little flowers. These are from the Dollar Tree. Obviously, they're not the same quality as the ones from Hobby Lobby. But when you mix them up and if you pick a nice little kind of a muted tone of flower that doesn't stand out too much, and you look at them carefully when you're picking your bushes from the Dollar Tree or the dollar store, just look at them and make sure they're not too crushed. If you find one that maybe has a little bit of a crushed petal, just cut that petal off. Or if the petal is dangling too much, it's just really loose, then put a little dot of glue there and stick it to the other petal so it'll stay up. And maybe if you see some fraying or some shredding, then just trim that off, give it a little trim, and that'll make the flower look really pretty, okay? These all look really nice. Now, I pulled this out, as I was saying, because I didn't know I was going to have enough flowers for the arrangement that I wanted to do. Well, maybe I would want a lot on there. But I can see that I still have a few flowers here. We're going to try, see what we can get if we don't need to maybe use this. And then, of course, we're still going to put some greenery in there. So I'm going to take these other flowers, and these are actually an even amount, and I actually like an odd amount of flowers. So, for instance, this flower here, I had 4 of them, but we're pretending that this is a flower also. So that makes it 5, and that's where I like to use an odd number of flowers. So if you're doing an arrangement that's not for a wedding or a special occasion, you don't need any bows in there, you would put your 5th flower there. So then all the other flowers would either be in 3s, 5s, or 7s in odd numbers. But it's not the case in this particular bush, so we're going to go ahead and just work with what we have. And because this bow gives us a lot of lightness over here, I'm going to take these 2 roses and put them somewhere between these 2 darker flowers. Let's see, push up the greenery a little bit, give it a little bit of a curve. I want to put it right in here, keeping in mind that I don't want it taller than this flower or sticking out further than this one. That's just perfect. Let's see how well I did there. Oh, look at that, you guys. They're almost exact, maybe a little like a 1/16 of an inch. Okay. Let's spin that. And we're putting it between these 2. Beautiful. Okay, as you can see, it's getting really full now, and it's looking really beautiful. So let's not neglect this side and this side where the bow is. And now I have this darker flower. It has a little bit more tinge than this rose did, a little bit more. So I'm using that, or tint, if you want to say tint. I said tinge. I kind of like to use that word, I don't know. Anyway. So I'm just going to bend that. And remember, these flowers are not sticking out as far, so I may have to trim this. I'm going to go under here, under this hydrangea flower here. And I'm just going to kind of lead it downward a little bit and then just bend it up a little bit so it's not facing straight down. So there we go. Put a rose there. So I'm going to do the same thing on this side, which is if you look at it, it's right here. We want to go on this side of the bow, okay? I'm going to use this. That's where I had my finger, so that's about the same. I'm going to bend it and then bend it upward a little bit. Okay, right a little bit. Kind of a little bit off the center of the bow here, so that it is like this way with that other rose, the bud. And see how that's looking? Very nice. So I'm thinking I don't need these flowers, so it's a good thing that we have, you know, or I had, but now you can see that how many flowers are being used, and this bush had plenty of flowers in it. Alright, so we're going to count how many flowers we have on this arrangement, so that you'll know what to get for your arrangement if you're working with something about this size, okay? Which is what I have here in front of me. Let me tell you how much it kind of measures so you get an idea, because I'm a big girl. So we'll see how this compares to me. Okay, this expands out 14 inches, and on the other side it pops out about 11, and the height of this is about 8 inches. Okay, so we've got like a 14 by 11 like this, and then about 8 inches in height. Okay, so this, if I was going to choose what is called the focal flower, which is the main flower, it could be a rose, it could be a hydrangea, daisy, whatever your main flower is for your decor, that is your focal flower. So this big flower here is my focal flower. The bow is taking place of one. There's 5, okay? And then we'll have what we call contrasting flowers. Sometimes you can even say it's a filler flower, but I like to call it a contrasting flower, which is just a little bit smaller, but it's just another world, a flower or rose or hydrangea or whatever that I want to incorporate. So if I started with a rose as my focal flower, maybe some daisy as a contrast flower, then here I have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Get about 7 of them, so you want to build up a little bit more. So then if you have like little fillers like this, which are smaller little flowers, including your greenery, then you're just going to add in whatever little flowers, maybe 5 or 7, even 9. If you have a bush that has a lot in there and it has like 9 little stems, that'll be perfect. You can just use whatever you want in there. And then of course your greenery is also it's also considered a filler, so then that would fill in little spots here and there. So then you can have maybe one that dangles down, and then maybe another 7 that fill in, you know, from your greenery. Okay, so I'm going to use these, and I kind of want a little bit of something dangling. These kind of hang off a little bit, so I want that look, and I want it to come off these 2 flowers that make this white, the whitest part of my arrangement. Okay, about right here. Now at this point, when I'm looking at my arrangement, I can see in there and I can see the white styrofoam, but once I put in my greenery, I probably won't see it, but just in case, you can go in there and just tuck in some moss, or your sheep moss or your Spanish moss, whatever you're using, whatever your choice is. Okay, let's cut this one, and I'm only going to use 2 of them in this case, or actually I'm going to put one at the very top, kind of poking out the top. So I only had 3 of these, and that's just fine. But like I said, little filler flowers, maybe like 5 or 7 of them. And you might want to get like little dangly ones like this to fill in. That will make the arrangement really pretty and make it a little more natural looking. It's perfectly fine to use silk florals, because you can make your arrangements way ahead of time. They're very cost effective, and you can just recycle the flowers. And although fresh flowers are always beautiful for a wedding, not everybody can afford that. If you're not hiring someone to do the work for you and you have to do it, it's really hard to work with fresh flowers because you've got all kinds of other things going on. Especially if this is something for you. You know, you got to get dressed and do all kinds of things. Alright, anyway, we're going to use some greenery now. So I've got these, and I did have these little ferny ones. So I'm going to use a couple of these. I also want these to kind of stick out like that. So I'm actually going to remove the 2 bottom leaves here. I feel like it's too long. That's nice. I don't want to cover that flower. I just kind of want it to pop out, maybe underneath it a little bit. So I need to cut the stem now. And then I'm just going to go underneath the flower, poke it in there. Oh, I love that. See? There we go. That looks nice. So I'm going to do that to the other flower over here. Now, when I put this leaf in, as you can see, this is the flower here, but the leaf is kind of off to the side a bit. So when I do this one, I'm going to do the same. Go off to the side on this, the right side of that flower. And again, you also want to give it a little bit of a curve, okay? I had to look at it and remind myself, what am I doing? Okay, put it in there. And I'm actually sticking it in to the top of where you see the white of the styrofoam, so that kind of covers it a little bit. There we go. Kind of bring it there. Now, if it was hanging like way too far down, you could bend it up a little bit more, and you know, it won't come down here, and then again, when they're talking, it won't be in the way. This is not too bad. This is pretty good. Okay, plus it also gives it more length this way. Okay, so I want to do some ivy the same way, but see how that ribbon kind of hanging down? So I'm going to take a stem that has a little bit of a, you know, a little bit of something hanging off of it. I'm going to fold it, bend it, kind of shape it. And then I'm going to trim off here, this little stem here. I don't need that. And trim that nice and short. And right where the bow, right underneath is, I'm going to stick that right in there. I'm just going to look underneath here and push it into the styrofoam. And it went in nice and easy, so I knew there wasn't any hot glue puddles there. And then I'm just going to take my ribbon and kind of tangle it around this ivy. There we go. That looks really pretty. Okay, so now I can take some shorter stems and more of this if I want. I thought I had another one of these leaves, but I do not. So I'm just going to use the ones on the side. If I had another one, I'd put one on opposite sides, but I don't. So I'm going to use these shorter bits here on the bush here. So let's cut those two. And I need something right here, right above the bow. That's too long, so I'm going to trim some off. And just kind of peek in there. And see, I put it right there. So the opposite of the bow is this other flower here. So I want to do the same thing right behind it. So I'm bringing the greenery up a little bit. And then a little bit of glue on the stem. And then just tucking it right there. So that adds a little bit of greenery there. And then I feel like when you look at it, you feel like, oh, there's a little bald spot there. You know, maybe two flowers are too close to each other. You know, separate them a little bit. And then wherever you see a little bald spot, add some greenery. So that's what I'm going to continue doing. So I'm trying to cut off the shorter pieces to use those first to fill in. A little taller this time. I feel like I need something right here. There we go. And since I did here, I gotta go opposite. Right here. And again, if you have two flowers, just keep wanting to push together. You want to separate them, but they keep going. Just stick some greenery right between them. That'll keep them from fighting with each other. Okay. I'm gonna do a couple more. Look at my arrangement, and it looks very full, but I'm seeing a spot here, and it's kind of the same on the other side. So I'm going to do right here. I see a little spot right here that needs something, so I'm going to push all these guys up because I don't want it to come out too far out. Okay, that'll be good. Okay, so I'm sticking it into the styrofoam, the top part, and then I just bend it down a little bit. So that's what I did right here, and cover that little spot there. And that is, the opposite of that is the bow. And I don't really have that problem over here. Oh, I do. It's right here. Little spot there. So let's fill that in. This one's got some plastic stuck on the leaf. Okay. This other little bit here that, I don't know, maybe in the production I got stuck on there. Okay, so we're going to trim this shorter. Got to look at and remember where I was going with this. Right in here. Which is kind of like next to this little dangly bit here. Okay, so I stuck it in, then I just kind of bend it down a little bit. There we go. That fills that spot in. And I think it looks really good. All the greenery on all the floral stems does a good job of filling everything, so I don't need to go in there and put any moss. I don't want to put any more flowers on it. I don't want to make it too crowded. If you feel like it's too crowded for you, want to take some off, then go in there and cover any styrofoam. You do want to make an arrangement to feel like maybe a little butterfly can fly through it. But when it comes to like wedding arrangements, you kind of go a little bit over the top and with flowers. So this is perfectly fine if it's got a lot and they're all really closely clustered together. Okay, and I think the bow looks great. Just poof it up, fix it a little bit, fix the little tails. Everything looks fine. Any webs of glue, we can just pull them off. All right, everyone, I have completed my project. There was another bush of flowers that I pulled out that had some lavender colors in there, and I really wanted to incorporate that in this since I did use it last week and I want everything to sort of match and coordinate. So I went ahead and I pulled off 4 little stems from the lavender, and I put a couple sticking up at the top here and then more kind of coming out at the sides right here. So there we go. This is completed. It looks beautiful from whatever side you want to look at it. I think the candlestick looks really nice. I could have taken the candlestick and spray painted it white so they would really coordinate with the kind of like a farmhouse feel, but I really feel that you can use, you know, colors like this in your farmhouse. You could also use that kind of like a tin metal color or some grays, whatever colors really that you choose. You could even have a green or a wooden candlestick. But I specifically chose this one because it was a very good price, number one. Number two is because the lamps in my living room have this sort of finish to them where it's got like the little antique look to the glass. So I thought it was perfect that I could actually recycle it in my living room. All right, everyone, and there we go, my floral arrangement on a candlestick. I'm going to give myself a big old thumbs up, and I hope that you too will give me a big old thumbs up. And make sure you leave a nice comment down below. And to follow me on my Instagram at Tricia Texas Lady. You can also find me on Facebook, Tricia's Creations. I know that a lot of you have been following me there, and you can message me through there and ask me anything. Share any ideas that you might have that you would want me to do. Also, you can also post pictures of your projects on that page, so that you can share your ideas with everyone else. And if you've done something that I've done, I would love to see your finished project, and if you don't mind everyone seeing it, please post it on there. All right, everyone, subscribe if you haven't already subscribed, and thank you to everyone who has. But also make sure you hit that little notification bell, and that'll let you know or notify you when I put up my next videos. I try to put them up for Tuesdays and Fridays, and like I said, this February will be crafts all through the month rather than a recipe on Friday. Okay, so I hope that that'll be okay for you, and hope that you'll enjoy the series. Make sure you share on your social medias, and as always, enjoy.